Hi everyone, this is Koinzell here, and today I have for you guys a quick update on some of the figures in the AggraSpread com because while working on the Amos Bowl for Tighnari's map, I actually found something that needed to be updated across back to the previous map, and I'll share the update, why the reason for the update, what's the change, and the updated figures. As you can see here, all the different figures for Tighnari Yae as well, and whatever updated comparison or conclusions there are. Thankfully, there's only one that's different from previously. So without further ado, let me go straight into talking about the update itself. So basically, this whole thing came about because there's a difference in reaction multipliers being used in community spreadsheets versus reaction multipliers used for Dendro theory crafting and also by the Genshin wiki. So if you want more info on this, basically you can check out the URL below. It's about using superconduct as 1.0 as baseline, the multiplier, instead of 0.5. I provide a link here. And basically, what this means is that the 1.15 and 1.25 for aggravate and spread that I use in my formula should actually be doubled in my math. Why is this the case? So let me just show it here. So if you see here, right, this is basically a screen capture of that specific website, the link that I gave. If you see here from internal data, this is the actual reaction multipliers that's been derived. But for the community derived spreadsheets, right, people actually use double the number, with superconduct being 1 instead of 0.5. So when we see 1.15 and 1.25 for aggravate and spread, they are actually they follow this table here. But because I'm using this in my math, when I take the 1.15 and 1.25, I actually have to double them. And they are not doubled right now. So that's why I say that I need to update the image, because what this means is that all of my aggravate and spread bonus damage should all be doubled. So this is a good thing for both Tighnari and Yae in AggraSpread, because basically I'm going to show you guys figures that are better than before. So if you're already happy with the figures before, then you'll be even happier. If you're on the fence on the figures before, then maybe this may change your mind. Okay, so it's a good thing for both Yae and Tighnari in AggraSpread. I provide the updates here. And also there's a slight buff to Tighnari's base attack that I missed. It's increased by about 8. I mean, it's not big, but I'll just include it in here, okay? So I hope this makes it clear why there's a need for me to update this. It's basically between two different type of standards used. So the way that I did the math, obviously a level multiplier is also different across the two methods. But suffice to say, by doubling this, I will match it to if you use this along with the level multiplier that is in the Genshin wiki site right now, and also in the quick Dendro guide thingy. Okay? That I shared in the previous guide. Or was it the Hyperbloom guide? Sorry, I think it was it was the Hyperbloom. Sorry, it was the Bloom related comms guide. Okay? So I hope this is clear. Now let's look at the boosted damage that we have here. So all the stats are the same as per the Tighnari Math Guide 2. Artifact permutation I have updated it as per the Tighnari Math Guide 3, where we did our artifact comparison. Sorry. So these are the figures. So generally speaking, across the board, Tighnari's damage has increased by approximately 200k. Obviously, there's a bit of a blind plus minus here and there, but it is about 200k. So it's a very nice boost, right? And next, let's talk about the Tighnari artifact comparison, attack versus EN sense. So unfortunately, this is the one where there's a change from my previous conclusion. Right now, with double the base damage from aggravate and spread, EM sense is always better than attack sense. If you remember previously, our conclusion was a bit different, right? It was attack sense being better, and only at R5 is EM sense better. However, with the double the base damage right now, even at R1, EM sense is still better than attack sense. Okay, so I hope this is clear, guys. Please use EM sense instead of attack sense if you're using Hunter's Path. Okay. So this is the only change, to be honest. The rest of it is, the conclusions are all the same, but I'll still show the updated figures, yeah? Okay, next we have 4WT versus 4GD. So if you are using attack sense, 4GD is always better, but since we established now that EN sense is better, let's do at EN sense. And if you are using EN sense, the difference between 4WT and 4GT is so small that it's pretty much similar. So this is very, very similar to the previous artifact upgrade, where this is very, very close between the two as well. So it depends on which set you have better stats on. Next, let's talk about Yae. So we have completed talking about Tighnari. Generally speaking, he has an addition 200k. EN sense is not always better, and between 4WT and 4GD, if you're using EN sense, the difference is very small, so it's pretty much similar. Alright. Now, moving on to the updated Yae damage in AggraSpread. This is for the dual DPS comp, basically, where you have 2x Dendro and 2x Electro, with Yae and Tighnari being the dual DPS. So these are the figures. In general, Yae gets about additional 100k damage now. It's 100k, not 200k compared to Tighnari, because her aggravate procs are lesser than Tighnari's. That's the reason why. But this is still very nice, because her damage at this point, let's say if you manage to get a 4 good working 4-piece GD, Gilded Dreams, add that to Tighnari's damage now, it's a total of 2.2 to 2.3 million damage from just Yae and Tighnari alone, versus 1.9 previously. Now, if you remember in the earlier math guides, I used 1.8 million as a figure to compare, right? That 1.8 million wasn't using 4GD, and it had 2 less Q aggravates. So now that we have updated the assumption, increased the number of Q aggravates, and we also use 4GD, you can see that a 4GD Yae versus a plus a Tighnari with 1.22 million here easily gives you 2.2 to 2.3 million damage, which is very, very nice. This is going to be a very good comp. And as for the Yae main stat, attack sense is still better for Yae too, by about 4 to 5%. 4GD is also still the best by 8 to 10%. Now 8 to 10% is actually slightly better than our previous finding. But in terms of the overall conclusion, our conclusions for all the previous math guides for Yae still holds. Okay? It's really only that Tighnari Math Guide 3 where the results here are a little different. Okay? Now next, we have the updated Yae damage in a single Dendro comp, i.e. this is the one where we put an animal character instead of double Dendro. Okay? Wait, sorry. Ignore this. This is already covered here, no worries. So for Yae in the single Dendro comp, she gets about additional 100k damage as well. And it's the same thing, right? Because the number of aggravates is pretty much the same between the two Yae comps. And it's 100k, not 200k, because it's lesser than Tighnari's. Because Tighnari has multi-hit. But this is still very nice, because, again, Yae plus... Oh, wait, sorry. This is not updated. My bad. Okay, now, this is a bit different. This is basically saying that this comp now outperforms EC comp in terms of DPS by 22% at R1, 70% at R5, even after lowering ER values in the EC comp. Okay, so remember I mentioned previously that I lowered the EC comp figures for Yae. I lowered the ER value so as to do better on the damage figures. But even with that, this still does much better, 22% R1 and 70% R5. Okay? So this is the single Dendro AggraSpread comp. In terms of the attack sense and this is updated. This is exactly I know it looks like the previous comp, but there's a slight difference. Okay? But essentially attack sense is still better, and 4GD is still the best artifact set for Yae. And more importantly, in this comp, Yae's damage is already outperforming the EC comp by 22% R1 and 70% R5. Okay. I actually have a lot of videos to rush today, so we're gonna keep going. So that brings us to the TLDR. TLDR is very, very straightforward. With the base damage update, it's about 200k more for Tighnari overall damage and 100k for Yae. There are no changes for Yae in terms of the conclusions from all the previous math guides, but there's a change for Tighnari now where EM sense is better than attack sense for him, provided you're using Hunter's Path. Okay? I apologize for missing this earlier, but it wasn't really easy to catch with the two different standards being used. I can tell you even the KQM theory crafting library at the point of me typing this still lists code superconduct as 1, not 0.5 in their damage formula. But nevertheless, moving forward, I will update the reaction math to be based on the Genshin wikis, i.e. 0.5 for superconduct. To be honest, unless they come up with a new reaction, this doesn't really matter. But between the two, I can tell you the damage difference is only about 10 plus in absolute flat value. So it's the same. The two different methods of calculating. It's just that you need to be careful what's the reaction multiplier figure between the two. That's all. Alright? Okay, so I hope this quick update is helpful to you guys to see that the aggravate and spread figures are actually better than I initially calculated, which is a good thing because I was actually already looking forward to trying it out, and now it's even better. 200k for Tighnari, 100k for Yae. Nice. Okay, so I will do the cooking in Hyperbloom next, and I actually completed Amos as well. I have not completed Stringless. Stringless is the next survival I would want to do, but it really depends on whether I can find time to do it. For now, let's focus on getting the cooking Hyperbloom out as well, yeah? Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. I hope you liked the content. If you liked the content, remember the video and click subscribe for more. Bye!